What's up, everybody? Noah Kaser back here for Noah Kaser and Kyle Live. Let's get into this. We're going to be going over everything we watched in the month of May and most of June. So last time we had to wrap up a little bit quickly, but we didn't finish all of April. So we might as well go into a little bit of April. But first off, how are you doing, Kyle?
I am very well. How are you doing, sir?
I am very well. It has been a great weekend, great couple of months. And I look forward to this every single time because this is just fun. It's
Absolutely.
guy time. And now we're here to talk about the types of corn we've eaten. No, no. Let's get into this. We're going to start off with April 27th, and Kyle's going to go first, and then I'll go, and then we'll just go week by week in May. There we go.
All right. Excuse me. All right. So for that week, I did some more catch up on some 2024 titles that I needed to see. Red Rooms was one of them. Really brutal foreign film about this woman she becomes oddly obsessed with this serial killer during his trial. And it's really, really good. The Greatest Surf Movie in the Universe, not good. I wasn't expecting it to be fantastic, but I don't know. I was expecting it to be a little bit funnier than it was. I mean, it's 80 minutes of just a bunch of surfers. I mean, the whole gimmick is that it's 10 years in the future and this virus has wiped out the memory of surfing. And every time they bring a character on screen, they say, 10 years ago, this virus wiped out the memory of surfing. And it's up to us. And they go into this 2-minute monologue, and it's the same 2-minute monologue every time. So I didn't like it. Tombstone, I wanted to end my Val Kilmer tribute month with possibly one of his better known films. It's exceptional. It's really good, and the man will definitely be missed. Field of Dreams, I ended my sports month with that because I had never seen it. Classic, fantastic movie, very heartwarming, would highly recommend it. And then I saw The Surfer about a day or two early. That was a pretty interesting movie. So the first 10 minutes of that had to be restarted. Because the audio was very it had glitched out. It sounded like it was coming through like a robot's speakers. Mm-hmm. And at first we thought, okay, well, this is just part of the movie. But then the next scene came on and more people were talking like that, and we're like, okay, something's wrong. So they restarted the movie, and honestly, not great. It could have been better, and it just leaves you with more questions than answers. So I wouldn't recommend The Surfer to anyone, Nicolas Cage fan or not, but it's not one of his worst.
I mean, it could be, what's that one? Between Two Worlds?
That, and I like that one.
that is wild, but man, it's not good at all. It's crazy. Cage. But all right, so I do something every single time after we do a show. I have you pick the film that I watched that night.
Mm-hmm.
And that night you chose a classic. You chose Happy Gilmore. So, an instant classic for reasons. I mean, it's Adam Sandler. Come on. I'm excited for 2 later next month. Working Man. This is Jason Statham. If you've seen The Beekeeper, you've seen this movie.
Did you notice, by the way, this happens really quick at the beginning. When he's fighting those guys at the construction site, he pulls a shotgun out of a random hidden area, and then he puts it back, and nobody says a God blessed thing about it.
Yeah, I did. And everyone sees him. Everyone sees him do it. Oh God, I wanted to like that more. I did. I really did. It just was too standard for me. The Beekeeper was a bit different for a Statham film because we've seen him do the same role. I'm Jason Statham. This was the Beekeeper all over again. Basically felt like the same story, same character, dialogue. Novocaine, however, was a lot of fun. That one is brutal. If you like an action comedy, the best action comedy of the entire year, hands down. Where I found it a little bit lacking was some of the tonal shifts. When the action scenes were happening, there were just too many jokes for me to really feel the action happening, and I wish they could have cut some of the comedy out of there. Not saying that it didn't work for me. The one moment where I just can't handle is when it's fingers. So when his finger goes, I winced and I went, holy fucking shit, that is brutal. And I loved every minute of it. I loved every minute of it. Billy Madison, one of my all-time favorites. It's a comfort film. I watch it probably every month. I can't lie, probably every month. Then I watch two shorts. These shorts are like 10 minutes long. They're from the 1940s. It's all about this guy named Joe McDotes. And it's like, so you want, so you think, so you are, so you might. So You Want to Give Up Smoking is a very good one. It's all about him wanting to give up smoking and trying to figure out how to do it. So he goes with a gum. He goes with a patch. He goes with a cigar, which isn't any better for you, but it gets him off of a cigarette. What ends up happening is pretty good. He goes to get the patch, and everyone looks like they've been smoking for like 75 years, and they're only in their 40s. So You Need Glasses is one that I've seen happen to a lot of people. It's a 40s short film, 8 minutes. Nothing I can really say about it. And I love these because I can watch these as I'm having my breakfast in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives me something to watch that isn't something depressing like the news. So,
yeah.
Going up here, you're going to like this one. I finally saw 8 Mile. Finally.
That's one of my all-time favorites. Like, that's in my top 20. I love 8 Mile.
You know me and my taste in music. Rap is not my genre, but holy shit if this wasn't great. This has a tremendous story. Brittany Murphy and Eminem do have great on-screen chemistry. The rap battle, I'd never seen it in full. So seeing the whole rap battle back and forth, him battling multiple guys, that was great. I loved it. I just needed something comfortable and light after that, so I decided to go with Mrs. Doubtfire.
That's a great one.
It's not one of my most watched movies ever, but on Letterboxd it is. I've logged that like 5 times since I've been on here. And undoubtedly, when I watch it, my mom will sit there and she'll say it's over right after the pool scene. Because after that, the movie starts to slow down a little bit. It gets a lot slower. It's not as funny. But she loves that scene when he is cooking the dinner and sets her boobs on fire. And there's one scene that nobody knows. If you would just please go to the deleted scenes on YouTube. The funniest scene in the entire movie was cut out. That thing that he says, I think it's my first day as a woman and I'm getting hot flashes. In the original cut, they did like multiple takes, and my favorite one is Bon Appetit. And I just bust out laughing. Everyone went, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Bon Appetit, Bon Appetit." They didn't understand. Locked. I did some new release watching. And my theater got none of these. So, locked. This was solid. This gave me everything I wanted. This felt like phone booth in a car. The intensity was there. I enjoyed this one. Black Bag is one of my favorite movies of the entire year. It's
Black
gripping.
Bag is awesome.
It's gripping. The story is phenomenal. There's not much action in this. This is more of like a real spy thriller with very little action. And when there is action, it's warranted. This is like an old 50s, 60s spy film. And that's what I loved about this. That table scene at the very, very end, I didn't know what was going to happen. And it's time for a rewatch of Black Bag. If you guys haven't seen Black Bag, it's one of the best movies of the entire year. If you're like me and none of your theaters around you in 80 miles played this, it's on Peacock right now. Or better, go to Walmart, buy the Blu-ray. It's $18. It's one you can show friends, family, anybody, and they will enjoy it. Mickey 17. This was fine. This is a sci-fi film that got way too much hype, if I'm being honest with you. Everybody was like, it's Bong Joon-ho. It's going to be phenomenal. He can't make Parasite, Okja, Snowpiercer every single time. The marketing didn't look any good for this to me. They delayed this multiple years for a reason. And I wanted to like this more. It just got too repetitive. The entire time, he dies too many times. I've seen movies like that before, and it's fine. But this one should have been more.
Understandable.
Paul Blart Mall Cop. It's something light, fun, stupid, and Kevin James is my boy. He's my boy. I love Kevin James. Unapologetically. Saving Private Ryan. One of the few Sundays I had off. I think that was a Sunday. One of the few days I had off. And I was up early. I wanted something really great that I haven't seen. And Saving Private Ryan was the first thing that came on my Amazon Prime, and there it was. I enjoyed this movie. Phenomenal masterpiece of war filmmaking. It's heartbreaking. There's comedic moments, an all-star cast that never quits coming. And to wrap up this page, we have The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. I got laughs out of this. I just don't know if it was the right movie to watch after Saving Private Ryan.
That's understandable. I remember when I saw it, I was I laughed so hard. Like, it's one of the funniest movies I've seen in a long time, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
So I loved it.
I think my issue was I watched it at the wrong time. Rewatching it, I'm sure it'll be great. I'll sit down. I'll love it even more. Los Angeles, Wonder City of the West. This was a short on Turner Classic Movies right before a film I was going to watch and I never got to watch. This was all about seeing all the studios in 1935, and they take you to each studio, showing you a little bit of the inside, what the walk looks like. Old Hollywood is so pristine, it's charming. They don't look as expensive as they do now, and they just look so down to earth. A charming little 8-minute short that I really enjoyed. And to wrap up April, I did The Animal. Is it good? No. Is it funny? As an immature human being, yes. Might be my favorite Rob Schneider movie.
That's a statement.
What's your favorite Rob Schneider movie? Well, you got The Animal, you got Deuce Bigelow, you got The Benchwarmers, you got The Hot Chick, Big Stan. Let's go into the comments really quickly. Hey, Sav, great to see you. Tombstone, classic, great movie. I Agree the Surfer, not a good movie. Wow, he saw that one. Wow. He enjoyed Novocaine, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Mickey 17 is just okay. All right, let's go into the month of May, which, by the way, was his birthday month.
Yes, it was.
And he turned 75. No.
I'm an old fuck.
I'm gonna clip that out and make that short. I'm an old fuck. There we go. May 1st.
Thunderbolts. I liked it, but I think it was a little overhyped in terms of people saying like, oh yeah, this is like the kick in the ass that Marvel needed. I thought a lot of the dialogue was extremely corny. And I don't know if Marvel is growing up with its audience or if it's just staying in place, but I liked it. Would I say it's one of my favorites of the series? No. And then the theme for month, or the month, excuse me, the theme for the month of May was mystery / noir, and it's actually, I am so backed up on new releases that I didn't even get to finish my theme for the month of June. I'm just gonna like kind of abandon this concept and put it to rest and maybe come back to it another year.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a shame because I like doing it, but like I said, if I'm just so backed up. But I did rewatch A Simple Favor, which is awesome. I love A Simple Favor. I love the book by Darcy Bell. The movie is fantastic, and it made it onto my best of 2018 list. What's not fantastic is the follow-up, Another Simple Favor. There's a reason this one did not go to theaters. It is genuinely terrible. It is so nonsensical and so stupid that it's very hard to sit through the entire 2-hour affair. It is horrifically bad. The Big Sleep, classic noir film that I hadn't seen, and it was really, really good. 72 Hours, not a good movie at all. It was on my list to watch, and I didn't like it at all. Thief is a neo-noir movie with the late, great James Caan. Fantastic movie. Michael Mann is one of my favorite directors of all time, and that was a first-time watch for me. It was awesome. Fight or Flight. This was the mystery movie for one of for Regal. Actually, this was the last mystery movie that I went to. They've done a few more. I just haven't felt like going. The last one that they did, I was at the theater for F1.
Mm-hmm.
The last one they did was Jurassic World Rebirth, and I purposely skipped that because I wanted to sit and rewatch the Jurassic Park movies.
Yep.
But Fight or Flight was fine. It feels longer than it is, which is saying something because it's only an hour and a half long. But I like that Josh Hartnett is coming back to the forefront of cinema. He's back. He's doing what he loves, and it is showing a pattern that he is consistently better than the projects that he's in. Like, even if the movie is completely boring, he's going to act his ass off in it. And I really love him for that. Dial M for Murder, Hitchcock movie that I had never seen. It was fantastic. Clown in a Cornfield. I have not read the books. I liked the movie. I liked it a lot. But I don't know if it's super faithful to the source material or not. Like I said, it's a trilogy of books, and obviously this is only adapted from the first one, but I don't know. Shadow Force. I was disappointed with this one, which is I'm probably the only person in America to go, God, I was really disappointed with Shadow Force. This is directed by Joe Carnahan, who's done stuff like Cop Shop and Smokin' Aces and Narc and all that. So he usually, if he's doing an action movie, he knows what he's doing. And this one just felt like more, it should have like gone straight to a streaming service, I feel like. Not that it was bad. I didn't mind it. I liked it, but it really just, it wasn't my thing, I guess. Juliet and Romeo, let me tell you, what a weird movie. I'm going to spoil the ending of the movie because I was one of the few people to see it in a theater. First of all, I was by myself in the theater. This movie had an opening weekend of less than $300,000, and it released nationwide. So I was one of the only MFers to go see this. The movie is a musical rendition of Romeo and Juliet. They call it Juliet and Romeo. Why, I have no idea. But I really don't care. And it is mostly boring. Like, it's not very enjoyable to watch. The ending, however, is fucking insane. So the traditional ending of Romeo and Juliet is that they both kill themselves. They both die at the end to die loving each other. You know, they don't want to be a part of these warring families anymore who say that they can't love each other. They want to die while loving each other. Mm-hmm. In this one, they get that far, and then the last 5 minutes is them doing a 2000 style flashback where it's like, oh, you think that's the end of the story? And it shows that the apothecary was hiding like potions and antidotes in certain places that they had to get at just the right times. And right as it's revealed to the audience that they took these healing potions, boom, all of a sudden they wake up. They're not dead anymore. And they escape Verona. And the movie, I swear to God, ends with "to be continued" in Juliet and Romeo, Book 2. If that's not the biggest slap in the face to anybody who's even remotely a fan of this story, I don't know what is.
So funny you bring that up, actually. I was offered a screener for that one. And I didn't take it because I'm like, what the hell is this crap?
Oh, you should have.
But it gets better. I'm still being offered a screener because it's coming out on DVD in the UK. So I'm being offered a screener from a UK press agency because it didn't play in theaters over there very long.
Take it. It didn't play over here very long either. It actually, after its first weekend, it was removed from 1,000 theaters because it did that badly.
So what you're telling me is after this stream, I should go and request the screener so I can talk about it in the month of July.
If you don't, I will be very disappointed. Oh yeah, that night just wasn't a good watching night for me. I watched Summer of '69 on Hulu. Really unfunny. I don't. It's about this girl who wants to ask her crush to 69 with her, but she can't muster up the the courage to do so herself. So she wanders into this strip club. And she ends up finding Chloe Fineman, who I love Chloe Fineman. She's awesome on Saturday Night Live. So I was really hoping that this would be a really good like breakout lead role for her. She's boring in this. And she asks the stripper for like advice. Like, hey, can you be my wingman for like a week so I can ask this dude who's barely in the movie if I can 69 with him? It is just really not funny. It is just I didn't at the halfway through the movie I was like, I can't believe I'm wasting my time with this, but I did. And then it was a Final Destination rewatch. I hadn't seen the movies in well over a decade, and I was happy that a new one was coming out so I could do so. First one's obviously still the best. The second one is extremely solid. I remember in the beginning I hated part 3 and part 4, and now I enjoy both of those. 5 is really, really good. We will get more into Bloodlines though as we progress through my next part in a little bit.
Yep. And there's one more for that day.
Oh, Vertigo. Yeah, that was a first time watch. I really, really liked that. Yeah, it was a movie I had never seen, and when I told a few people I'd never seen it, they're like, "Are you serious? Well, like, you need to sit down and watch it." So I did, and it was awesome. It was really great.
I still haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah, it's really good. It's slow, but it's worth it. It's really worth it.
And it's funny that you bring up Bloodlines as well, because I literally just watched that yesterday. So we'll get into that at my thoughts on that at the very, very end.
Nice.
So May 1st for me, we had a bit of a hodgepodge here. This was a very interesting day for me because we had 2 shorts. So you think you're allergic and so you play with horses. This was fine. These are very odd titles. So you want to play the horses. This is all about him wanting to gamble on horse racing and his wife being mad at him about it. But when he wins a lot of money at the very end, she's perfectly fine with it. So, morals. Polar Opposites. This was a Hallmark movie, and this was a solid one. This was shot in Antarctica. It's cute. It's 84 minutes. I'll get into that a little bit more. A Simple Favor, really solid movie. I enjoy that movie a lot. Another Simple Favor I was in the vast fucking minority of.
Yeah, I'm surprised about that. That was but like I said, I mean, to each their own. You're going to like movies that I don't, and
Yep.
I'm going to like movies that you don't. So, I mean, that's just the way of the world.
Now, I'm not saying that this was a good movie. Did I have a fucking ball with this? Oh, hell yeah. As soon as the movie started, I went, how is this going to work? And then the way they do it, once they introduced the twin sister, and there was a triplet, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, this is basically a comedy now. I'm going into this as a pure comedy. The twists and turns were well thought out on paper. On screen, however, they don't portray that well. I enjoyed this immensely. Is it as good as the first? No. And I don't know why I didn't change my score, because I believe I gave that a higher grade, but apparently I don't know. The last time I gave it a grade, it was a 4.5 out of 5. So I'm gonna go back and check that one. I don't know why. We have some more stuff here. So you give me a second. So you want to keep your hair. Joe's going bald and he's trying everything he can to keep his hair. But
I don't know anything about that.
My Argentine Heart, another Hallmark one. Julie Gonzalo is one of the best leads in Hallmark. She has many, many great, charming films. She's sweet. She knows what she's doing. Juan Pablo De Pasi, he's new to the crew, but if you watched Fuller House, he was Kimmy Gibbler's husband in that, so that's how I know him. He's found his niche market now. So
I watched the first episode of Fuller House.
It's bad.
And that's all I could get through.
Actually,
as a matter of fact, I don't even think I got through the first episode. As soon as you have Bob Saget as Danny Tanner just sitting there, he's playing cards with like these little kids, and he's like, "Oh, what do I have? A full house." And then the kid next to him goes, oh yeah, Fuller House. And I just went, okay, I'm not doing this. I can't do this.
As a fan of Full House my whole life, I watched that and I went, what the fuck is this? And then after that episode, I binged the whole first season just because it felt like I was at home. I was home with DJ and Kimmy and Stephanie again. Ed Wood, fucking phenomenal movie. And one thing that I should say is that in the month of May, I believe that you picked my films. You picked my watch list of films, right?
I think it was the month of April, but that might have been a leftover.
Yes,
but,
that
yes.
was.
Speaking of Ed Wood, I want to show that to Molly for two reasons. Number one, it's personally one of my favorite films of all time. Mm-hmm. Number two, it's a Tim Burton movie. She loves Tim Burton. I love Tim Burton too. I don't know if she's seen that one or not, and I would love to show it to her. It's a fantastic movie. I love it.
I was shocked how much I loved it. This is all about Ed Wood, the famous director of some of those awful films in history, but you basically see his journey, and Johnny Depp should have won the Oscar. I hate to say he should have won the Oscar.
He was terrific in that.
And I think that might be my favorite non-new Johnny Depp film. And by new Depp, I mean he's not covered in white face paint. He's not being zany, running around with a sword or a gun or as a vampire.
Yeah.
Presence. This was a very divisive one. A lot of people loved it. A lot of people hated it. I'm going to be honest with you, where it really lost me, I was with it for the first half hour because it's a very interesting concept. Where it lost me was the ending. The ending where we get to know the boyfriend a little bit more. The daughter's boyfriend. To me, the scene where he almost attacks her and does what he does to her, that was way too much for me. That was nowhere near what I thought this film was going to be. That was a character choice I think was a little stupid. And the ending, I don't know if I fully got it, to be honest with you. But I'm going to acknowledge that this was a very well shot film. It's a very interesting concept. It's just, it didn't work for me. And a lot of people were marketing this as a horror movie. This is not a horror movie. This is not horror. This is a family drama.
I would actually argue against that. I would say it's a supernatural horror film.
Okay.
Respectfully argue against that. Simply because you are watching through the perspective of a spirit, and this spirit is essentially haunting this house that this family moves into. But at the same time, I do see your viewpoint of, well, it's more of a family drama because it does play out like that for 99% of the movie.
Now that I think back, what happens at the very end, that's pretty horrifying, because if I looked at my mirror and I saw a dead relative right there, I'd shit my pants. So I would not do what she did. I would be like, how in the fuck is this possible? Then I did The Breakfast Club, my personal favorite film of all time. I've seen that film multiple times. It puts me in a happy place. Speaking of happy place, Crazy Stupid Love, one of the greatest rom-coms ever. It's sweet, it's charming, it's 2 hours, and it does not feel like it. And I'm as straight as they get, man. But Ryan fucking Gosling in that movie, holy shit. He makes me feel inferior. He makes me feel inferior, man. That's one bad motherfucker, and I love that dude and everything he does. Hats off to Love. This was a stupid one. This was stupid. This takes place This takes place at horse races at the Kentucky Derby. And as you can tell, it's all about this hat maker who has to make this well-known figure at the Derby the best hat, because there's a contest between owners of horses. And she falls in love with her boss's son. The romance is not explored upon. They spend a couple of scenes together. Most of it is her spending time with the mother and being bullied and picked on because these hats are to this, these hats are to that. The horse is in it more than the actual guy is. Now, with that being said, our lead...
Are you
Gina?
horsing around with me, man?
What the fuck? Nay, bitch. Let's keep going. Looking at London. This one is very interesting. This is a look at 1940s post World War II London. It's a very depressing film because you see all the harm that happened then. And seeing that on screen is not easy by any means, but it's important because they were going through a really rough time. The war had ended not too long ago, and the buildings were still destroyed. Nazi stuff was still everywhere around all of Europe because they took multiple things, and it's not just in London. London's very big place, and they go other places. The Master of Disguise, stupid ass movie, but I fucking love it. Again, a comfort film. When I have a hard day at work, I need comfort. Screamboat. It's David Howard Thornton as a Mickey Mouse knockoff killing people. If you've seen the Mean One with him as the Grinch, you've basically seen this one with a bit of a higher budget. Hell of a Summer. Not well written at all. It's not funny. It has a stupid plot. Their characters make dumb decisions, and all the characters are highly unlikable. I didn't like a single one.
It can be best summed up, because I gave it the same rating that you did. The main problem that I have with it, and the whole reason why the movie falls apart, is because the filmmakers have set everything up to the audience as if you are supposed to be familiar with these people and very familiar with them. Like you're supposed to have known them inside and out before coming into the theater. Mm-hmm. And the problem is we don't. So we don't have anything to gravitate towards.
And they do very little to develop anybody. Well, very little. John Wick. I had never seen any of the John Wick movies. None of them. So I decided it was high time because I figured my theater would be getting Ballerina and they didn't. So fucking hooray.
Your theater is the worst. I'm sorry.
Guess what? My theater kept Elio and not that I haven't seen it yet. They did not get F1 or Megan 2.0 to save for Jurassic World Rebirth.
So what else is playing with Elio? Is it 28 years later?
Nope. How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess it's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing, but I was highly excited for F1 because the director of Top Gun Maverick, Brad Pitt, what's not to like? I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm probably not going to see the movie in theaters because my theater isn't getting it. But I do know what we are getting. We're getting Jurassic World and we're getting Superman. So at least I get those two.
Fair trade.
John Wick. This was fun. This was a nice start of building this world. If there's one thing I don't like in movies, besides like a devil or a satanic cult type of story. I don't like dogs dying in movies. That really doesn't sit well with me because I love animals so much. So for years, I'm like, I don't know if I want to see this dog die. You don't see him die, which was nice. You hear a yelp, which was a little bit hard. But then you're like, okay, he has the look on his face where I don't want to be near him. The Baba Yaga's coming for you. And when the Baba Yaga comes after you, he is ready to murder you and cook your flesh. And that happens again in John Wick 2. John Wick 2 is my favorite one. This was highly entertaining. It's bonkers fun. And the more these movies go on, John Wick has less and less dialogue.
Yeah.
And I'll get into 3 and 4. The less dialogue he has, the less I enjoy the movie, if that makes any sense. But
it does to me, yeah.
With 1, you're building the world. You're getting attached to this character and knowing who he is. 2, he's full-fledged John Wick Baba Yaga. Warfare, one of the best films of the entire year, one of the best war films of all time. It is intense, heart-pounding, with bits of comedy thrown in there, just to give you a little bit of reprieve. And probably some of the best realistic portrayals of what happens in combat. Because there's a good, would you say a good 8 to 10 minutes where there's no dialogue in the very beginning, if not very little?
Mm-hmm.
And you're engaged because Alex Garland knows how to shoot these types of films. And I think this might be better than Civil War. This might be better because it's more realistic to the story it's telling.
That's fair.
And it doesn't leave the story as with as many questions as I had leaving Civil War last year. Not that the movie wasn't good, because it was phenomenal. Warfare was just immensely better and one of the best films of the entire year. If you haven't seen it, it's probably not going to stream anywhere for a long time. So pre-order? I think it's on pre-order at the A24 shop right now.
I believe the Blu-ray hits probably Barnes and Noble more than likely will get it release day, but the Blu-ray hits July 1st. So
are you going to buy this movie by chance?
I intend to, but I know with the A24 movies, they don't come with like digital code slips.
No. Which stinks, but this was a great film. John Wick 3, I enjoyed this less because I started to feel the runtime. One thing I don't like about these films is they're starting to get longer and longer and longer. And at 2 hours and 10 minutes, I think this could have been trimmed down a little bit. The action was still great. Just the villain in this one was a bit more too uninteresting for me. What the Sam.
That's a classic joke, man. I love that.
Sav, I love you, man. I love you. And then I got in trouble with Kirsten because she found out I had not seen 10 Things I Hate About You.
That's a very good movie.
Very, very good movie. A very great day of movie watching. I enjoyed that movie immensely. John Wick 4, way too long, but I can't say anything bad about the filmmaking. You can't say anything bad about it. Yes, there's a lot less dialogue from John Wick, but man, if the action doesn't just blow your pants off. Nona's heartfelt movie on Netflix. If you haven't seen it yet, it's great. I love Vince Vaughn with my whole being. He's great. And then another one of the So You Think You're a Nervous Wreck. Every day. But there was that. Let's go in here. Oh, and we should have said this earlier. Once we finish May, we will be taking a short break one, to rest our vocal cords, and also because we men need to pee. So it's okay. Here we go. We're opening Oz on here, goddammit. Let's go up here. 11th.
The Duchess was okay. More boring than engaging. The Comeback Trail was pretty solid. I remember that was supposed to come to theaters in like November of 2020, and then just it disappeared, and now all of a sudden it's here. But I like that one a lot. I did talk about the Final Destinations. Rope was really good. Rope is a chamber piece from Hitchcock that, man, it's only 80 minutes long. It feels longer, but I read that they did that on purpose. That's because of the way they filmed it. They did it so it felt longer.
Mm-hmm.
And mission accomplished. It's a great, great suspenseful film. Hurry Up Tomorrow. I am in the very small minority with this one. I thought that this was really an engaging movie. I thought it was I was worried to death that it was going to be a vanity project because The Weeknd's last acting thing that he did was The Idol, and The Idol is a wretched TV show. I think it is one of the most deplorable things to ever come out. And thankfully, I didn't feel the same way about this. I would say the only thing that's really frustrating about it is that it has this big insistence on keeping its audience in the dark as long as possible. But it's a movie that I can't stop thinking about, and for a good reason. I really enjoyed it a lot. Jenna Ortega is fantastic. I think this is one of her best turns yet. She's not playing Jenna Ortega. She's not playing the Wednesday Addams archetype that she carried over into Beetlejuice 2. She's playing a different character here. I thought The Weeknd was good. There were times where you could tell that he was trying a little too hard. There were times where you could tell that he was stumbling, speaking a little too quickly to get his stuff out. The only thing I really didn't like about the movie was Barry Keoghan is barely used in the entire film.
Yeah.
He is in it for, I would say, 5 minutes, and he's third build. But I really, really, I really enjoyed this. I really did. I saw it like the day before it came out at like a fan thing. So when it started with like a very elaborate music video for the song Hurry Up Tomorrow, which is from the album Hurry Up Tomorrow, which was made for the movie Hurry Up Tomorrow.
Hurry up, Kyle. No.
And I was like, wow, this is a very interesting opening scene. Like he's in a house at a piano. I wonder what this could lead to. Very quickly, it ends and it cuts and it says Hurry Up Tomorrow, album out now. And then the movie started. I said, I'm a moron. That was a music video.
I saw that earlier this month, so we'll talk about that. My thoughts on that in just a little bit.
Bloodlines, yes, really good. Really, probably the best Final Destination sequel since the second film. Yeah, the Mission Impossible films. So I love the Mission Impossible series. I really do. I've seen them all before. I rewatch them all every time a new one comes out. My personal favorite ones are Fallout and Dead Reckoning, the one that came out a couple years ago. I was watching the third one. That was my birthday weekend, and it was almost over, and Molly and Mason came in and they surprised me, and I'm like, this is a really cool surprise. Let me finish watching this because there was like 20 minutes or so left on it, and then we were gonna go do some stuff. But it was so funny because I forgot how much Molly does not like Tom Cruise, and I don't blame her. I think as a person, he has very questionable, to say the least, very questionable beliefs, and the way that he like forces Scientology onto people, I think is really weird.
Yeah.
But as an actor, as him coming to work and doing his job, I think he's very good. Yeah, I don't know much more to say about it than that. But I did do a Mission Impossible. There was actually something really cool. If you logged those movies on Letterboxd,
Mhm.
when the new one like had just came out, when you go to hit submit, like your screen took over from like a message from the IMF, and it was like, this thing is going to self-destruct in 5 seconds, and then it stops and it says Ethan Hunt has taken over and he's publishing your review. He overrode the system for you. So I was like, well, that's cool. That's first time I've seen like something different on Letterboxd. I know when you log everything everywhere all at once, the watch symbol is a little googly eye.
Yeah.
So I did that. I think that weekend I also rewatched the original Lilo and Stitch. Probably my favorite Disney animated movie of all time. That's one that I grew up with. It's pitch perfect. There's not a thing I would change about that movie. And it's awesome. Even it's even the direct to video stuff that they did for that. It's really, really cool. I love the original. Excuse me, Lilo and Stitch. I had a stuffed crust pizza from Domino's a few hours ago, and it's still just coming up. I don't regret a damn thing. So, so yeah, Mission Impossible 4, 5, 6, 7. Final Reckoning was good. There's no reason that Final Reckoning has to be nearly 3 hours, but we're there. So there you go. Friendship, saw this with Molly. Her and I are both a huge fan of I Think You Should Leave, the Tim Robinson show on Netflix. This movie is ridiculous as all hell, but that's the kind of comedy that I like, is the really absurd and really ridiculous, which is why I am hoping and praying to God. I've seen both trailers and it looks great. I hope that this new Naked Gun that's coming out is really good.
Mm-hmm. Now, these next few, one, I stole a watch from you because I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't seen that movie yet. And then the other one I watched because, well, you'll see why. Love in the Clouds. This was a Hallmark movie. This was one of the worst ones I have ever seen.
It's still a 3 out of 5, so it can't be that bad.
For a Hallmark movie, I'm normally very forgiving. As a Hallmark movie, with the podcast, I know what it takes to make these now on a shoestring amount of time, because these are shot between 11 to 14 days. This movie was not that well written, but the message was nice. The chemistry was there. It's just the story was so piss poor, and if you've seen low budget green screen, this is the most green screen I've ever seen anybody green screen ever.
I've seen my fair share of Tyler Perry movies. I know poor green screen when I was kids.
What do you mean? No. Yeah. Rope. I stole this from your list. I'm like, this looks fun. This is one of the best Hitchcock movies ever made.
Yes.
It's 80 minutes. It moves at a rapid pace, but it also slows down. So you're going to be a father. This was one of the better shorts. The Killer's Game. This was fucking great.
I love The Killer's Game.
And if you know me, when Dave Bautista left the WWE to go to Hollywood, I was heartbroken. And then I saw him as Drax. I said, "You're forgiven."
I walk alone.
Dix the Musical. This was fucking weird as shit, and I loved every goddamn minute of it, except, if you know me, I am religious. I didn't like the God stuff at the very end.
I know. When I saw that, I was like, I'm surprised you liked it so much, because the one thing I was worried about was I knew you weren't going to like the last few minutes of it. But it is just such a genius movie. You have Megan Thee Stallion in her feature debut. She kills it. She is awesome in it. This movie is absolutely unhinged. But like I said, it's my favorite type of comedy. It's the one that's so out there, you can't help but laugh.
This is not usually my style of comedy, but when you throw it into a musical, this was weird as shit. And I watched this and I went, how do I only have 20 minutes left?
Megan Mullally and her just disembodied vagina that she has in her handbag. I have no pussy.
If you guys haven't seen Dix the Musical, it's the weirdest fucking thing I've seen, but I loved it. It's stupid as fuck. And Molly, thank you for telling me to watch this. Kyle, thank you for telling me to watch this. This fucking thing was a blast. And
that was our first Sweetest Day. I took her to see that, and we both had a riot.
And then I kept the laughs going with Final Destination. No, so as you can tell, I had never seen any of them before. These ones were going to be ones that I was going to lead up to seeing the new one in theaters, but I worked every fucking day in May, literally every day besides Memorial Day, so I had no time to go to the theater at all in the month of May. 1, 2, and 3. I loved 1. I think it's my favorite one. You can't beat the original, but 2, I get why everyone loves it. It was a bit of a step down for me. I didn't like our lead. I didn't like our lead girl. 3, Mary Elizabeth Winstead kills it in everything she does. And I feel bad. I can't remember the guy's name who was in it with her, but he's from a lot of like the DComs, like Smart House, Luck of the Irish. There's one about him swimming as a mermaid. I don't know.
Ryan Merriman.
Ryan Merriman. There we go. I love that dude. He is so fun. 4 and 5, I did not like 4. I don't like 4. This is one where they really pushed that 3D to the moon, and you can tell that the 3D was a gimmick.
Yeah, that's when they brought 3D back, but this time they brought it back with the sunglasses type glasses, and they're like, motherfucker, you need to come see this shit now. So every movie had to be transferred to 3D because of that, and it was so stupid.
And the CGI blood in this was way, way too much, way too heavy. 5, this had the greatest kill in the entire franchise up to the new one. My favorite one in this that made me wince was the gymnastics. Yeah. I work in shoes, so problems with people's feet, I see it every day. This was PTSD.
I can't even imagine just looking at feet and how nasty they are and everything. I mean, thankfully, the feet that I've looked at that are not my own, or like my family's and stuff, they're fine. I wish Rocket, my one puppy, would stop licking everybody's feet, but that's not the worst thing he's licked, so I guess we're fine.
Nope. I did so you're going on a vacation. This was very, racist. This was racist. Um, there's a scene in here where they're supposed to be going on a vacation, and they're supposed to take this Indian with them, and it's very clearly a white man, and I don't know what you call fake
Native
Indian
American
face paint. What? Well, like the face paint. So like there's a black face. I don't know what you do with a Native American. That wording. It was played by a white dude.
I think they. I want to make sure I'm getting the terminology right, but I think they call that brown face.
Okay. I think so.
Yes.
Okay.
It's similar to blackface, but not quite, because they're not making fun of African Americans, so it would be brown face. Brown face and blackface. You're telling me you got both of those in the same thing? Dude, what are you watching?
So you want to be in the pictures. This was a nice multiverse type of a thing. Joe wants to be in the movies, but his name isn't Joe. Joe McDokes is actually in this world, and the end of the short ends up as Joe McDokes is playing Joe McDokes' stunt double. So when there's a pie in the face or a door slammed in his face, I enjoy these. Trap, this was really good. This was a lot better than I thought it would be. Trap should not have been this fun, but the ending, I don't want a sequel. Don't you dare give me a sequel to this. Leave this alone as a standalone.
Which ending? Because it has at least 27 of them.
Yeah. The ending that I'm meaning is the ending.
The ending.
Yeah.
After in the police van.
Yeah. Because there's like 17 different endings where they could have stopped it. And I would have been fine with the first one. But yeesh. I enjoyed this. I needed something a bit lighter though. Jerry fucking Maguire. It had been years since I've seen this movie. And god dang if I didn't enjoy every minute of this thing. It was sweet to every meaning of the word. This next one, I'm not going to spend any time on at all. It's 'Twas the Day Before Christmas. Why did I watch this? Because me and Kirsten got to interview Amy Browning, who is the lead in this. This was her first lead in a Hallmark movie ever. She's been a co-star in many of them. And Amy's interview is coming out on Monday to kick off Monday, right? I believe Monday's the 1st.
Monday's the 30th. Yeah.
Tuesday. So it's coming on Tuesday. To kick off Christmas in July on the Heartful of Hallmark podcast. Sweet lady. Love it. 5 to 7. This was a romance movie that was very odd. This is Anton Yelchin, who falls in love with an older married woman, but they're only allowed to see each other from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Yes. It's very weird, but the way the movie works out, it's oddly sweet, satisfying, romantic, and sad all at the same time. And this is a very indie film, but Glenn Close is in here. She's great. She's in here. I believe she plays his mom. Very, very sweet movie. The Wild Wedding. This was dog shit. The Wild Wedding. Glenn Close plays a actress who is getting married. Well, supposed to be getting married to Patrick Stewart, and her ex, played by John Malkovich, comes in, and it's basically the hijinks of a wedding. The family doesn't get along. The families are cheating on each other. Patrick is sleeping with his daughter's best friend. It's very weird. and it tries to be funny, but the comedy just doesn't work hardly at all. The Lego Batman movie. It's the Lego Batman movie. What do you want me to say?
As a
And
fan of
then,
Batman, that's one of the best Batman movies of all time.
yeah,
I love that movie.
especially where they reference all of them.
Yes.
The Grand Budapest Hotel. This was very good. Wes Anderson has a very interesting type of comedy now. I've seen 3 of his films now. No, 4 of his films now. And this might be my favorite one of them all. Then I ended that week with Shrek. Shrek is love, it's life. Shrek is everything. He is one of the greatest animated characters of all time, and I will not take any criticism.
I like Shrek a lot. I think Shrek 2 is the best one. That's my personal favorite.
And I don't fault you at all. At all. Let me go up here. Why did I take that down? I don't know why I took that down. Okay, we're gonna go back. Technical difficulties for my ass. Fantastic Mr. Fox. I didn't like this one as much as everybody else did. I thought that it was a little too weird for its own good.
That's fair. Have you ever read the book?
No.
The book, I think, I think if you read the book and then go back and watch the movie, I think you'll enjoy it a little bit more, because it's definitely a little bit more alongside the style of the book than it is Wes Anderson's own thing. But I can see why you would say that. Yeah,
That might be why I didn't like it as much, because I didn't know that the book, this was closer to the book. I thought that this was Wes Anderson taking his spin on it. That's what I thought.
it's kind of both.
Okay. I will have to read the book then. Hiya. Borat.
Very nice.
This was not very nice. This was not funny to me. There's bits of genius in there, like when him and his friend are fighting buck naked and running around the entire room. That was oddly funny, because you're not expecting something like that.
My favorite part of that, and it's one of the smaller jokes. It's I don't even know, because I don't even know how many people reference this or if they know what I'm getting, but it's when he like first goes to like the hotel, and because he's so used to living in such a shithole, he thinks that the elevator is his hotel room, so he starts unpacking in the in the elevator.
This is not my room. Pineapple Express. This was fucking stupid.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I'm really not, especially because James Franco is a weirdo. I don't know. And you got Amber Turd in it. And it's not, I don't know. A lot of people went nuts for this when this came out, and I saw it and I'm like, this is dumb.
Normally I'm a fan of like a stoner comedy. This one, the movie was overly long at almost 2 hours. I don't know why this needed to be 2 hours. Seth Rogen, James Franco, they don't have good chemistry together. They are not believable as best friends in this series of films they did at all. Normally this type of comedy works for me, but this is probably one of the worst things I've watched in about a month or two. Then we have Batman. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I had never seen the original Batman. I grew up with Returns.
So I'm a big Batman fan. Molly is a big Batman fan. Her favorite film of all time is The Dark Knight. I would say The Dark Knight is one of the top 3 Batman movies. The other 2 for me would be The Batman, the one with Robert Pattinson, and that one with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. It is so great. and so absorbing and so just awesome. Like it literally changed the mold of how comic book movies were done for a long time. And then so it was a bit of a shock that it came from Tim Burton, because he was known for doing very extravagant, weird things, which is why Batman Returns is more his style, because that has a lot of the weird sets and everything. Batman Returns is also fantastic. Michelle Pfeiffer is awesome as Catwoman. Danny DeVito is excellent as the Penguin. And even the other movies, Batman Forever, especially with Val Kilmer, who passed away, that was his only Batman appearance. He rocked in that. I really, Batman Forever is very entertaining. Batman and Robin, I've seen that several times, and I will die on this hill. It is not a bad movie. It is not nearly as bad as everyone thinks it is. It is campy as all hell. It absolutely is. But you have Mr. Freeze.
Mm-hmm.
You have Poison Ivy. Both performances from those actors are great. It's a fun time. It's a movie where they were trying to have fun with it, and audiences just didn't care to see something like that. I guess. I don't know. So those 4 Batman movies hold like a really special place for me, especially the Michael Keaton ones. I didn't mean to totally derail you there, but that's
a good segue because of my next film. But I was gonna watch all 4 in a row because the only one I had seen was Returns. Mm-hmm. So I have still not seen Forever or Robin yet, but I'm gonna watch those this month. Well, next month, and because you might as well. There's no bad time for Batman. He's Batman. Batman and Robin. I can't wait to see that. Batman Returns. Fucking love that movie. Fear Street Prom Queen. Yeah. That was a movie. This was very shit. This was shit. There are moments of goodness. The lead actress is great. The story can be fun. I can get how somebody can get great enjoyment out of this. But as somebody who enjoyed the first 2 parts and had not seen the third one, this is the weakest one of the Fear Street series so far. And then to end, well, I'll just end this page. White Chicks, I've been in the mood to watch that again for the longest time. Making my way downtown.
That is the stupidest movie that I've ever called a classic, but it is. I mean, it's so ridiculous that you can't help but enjoy. First of all, I love buddy cop movies. Those are my favorite movies of all time to watch. It is so quotable, and it is the stupidest friggin' plot in the entire world about 2 black men going undercover as 2 very uptight white women to infiltrate drug smuggling in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it works, and I can't explain why it does, but it just does. They look freaky when they that's the one thing I never understood about the movie, is how nobody doesn't look at these women and just instantly go like, good Lord.
Yeah.
But it is so much fun. So I love White Chicks. The movie. Do not clip that and say I love white chicks.
Yeah. This next film, this was a short. Nobody's ever heard of this thing. This looked very interesting. This popped up. This is a 30-minute film that takes place in the pivotal moments of the American Revolution, and it basically takes you through the whole entire thing, through bad weather, yada yada yada. It's very enjoyable. I like watching stuff like this. It's just short, charming, and fun. And to end that week, I did Zombieland.
This classic.
It's a classic for a reason. I fucking love Zombieland. It is one of my all-time favorite films. And I watch it 5-6 times a year for a reason. It's funny, it's quotable. The only scene I hate is the Amber Turd scene, because I don't know why she needed to be in that scene. I thought you could have done it any other way instead of having him fall for his attractive neighbor.
She was never that interesting of an actress to me, so I don't understand why so many people fell head over heels in love with her. But whatever.
It's because she showed her tits once. And we go on to the rest of May for you.
Yes. So the new Lilo and Stitch, we went and saw this. Little man loved it. We both really liked it. We're not a we both have the same disagreements about the film. We don't like that Gantu's not in it.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they made Jumba a villain, and I thought that was really weird. The main thing that annoys me about the movie, though, by far, is that Jumba and Pleakley, first of all, their live action designs are not bad. I thought that they were keeping that hidden up until as close to the release date as possible because they looked bad, and they didn't want to be like, well, we can't change the release date. Like, it's too late to go back now. But no, they look good. The problem is you only see them in their designs for about 2, 3, maybe 4 minutes in the entire movie. The rest of the movie, they are in their human disguises as Zach Galifianakis and Billy Magnussen, and it is just very unfunny to watch. Every time they come into the movie, they very much suck the life out of it and like stop the proceedings right where they are. And that was my biggest like complaint about it. Jumba and Pleakley worked in the original film because they were themselves. They were in disguise, yes, but they also were just very much out there in the open. I don't know. That being said, the little girl who plays Lilo, awesome. She did a fantastic job with this. The woman who plays Nani, also great. She aced this. Stitch is cute, funny, adorable. I mean, it's really hard. You have to try really hard to mess up that kind of character. And thankfully they didn't. It's a good live action remake. I don't necessarily care for the changes that they did with it, but they did just announce a couple days ago that they're working on a sequel to it. So hopefully, and from what I understand, they're not adapting the Stitch Has a Glitch, the sequel to the animated one. It's a completely different story. So we'll see where it goes. I really hope that there's a lot less Galifianakis and Magnussen in the follow-up. I mean, they didn't work for me in this one, but I really enjoyed it. Did a karate? Go ahead.
What's his name? David, is he in it much? Not Nani's love interest.
David's in it, but he's not a huge presence in it.
Shit. Well, okay. As a kid, I was really into them because I watched the series as well. Every day that show was on, and David was occasionally in it, and I liked that character a lot. So I'm like, hopefully he's in it. Now I'm going to buy it on digital because again, didn't get to go to theaters to see it, but it's fine. There we go. Sorry about that. I had to ask about.
Oh no, you're good. No, you're good. I did a Karate Kid rewatch in prep for the new one, which pretty much came and went in theaters. The original is fantastic. I did karate when I was a kid, and it was because of these movies. So, I mean, the original is a classic. The second one is just as good, if not better. It also has Glory of Love by Peter Cetera. I love Peter Cetera. I love that song, so I'm a little bit biased. Part 3 is off the wall insane. I fully believe that that's when they brought in the Coke and they set it down and they just went, all right, what are we going to do? So, the next Karate Kid was a first time watch for me. For whatever reason, I had never seen that before. And it was fine. It was essentially the original over again, but with a girl instead of a boy. And it took place at like some sort of military academy. But it is what it is. And then there's the remake, and I say that for two reasons. Number one, he doesn't do karate in the movie. He does kung fu. He even tells his mother at one point, that's not karate they're doing, it's kung fu. So what the hell is it called the Karate Kid for? And remake because it's now been kind of retroactively retconned as its own thing, and it exists in the same universe as the original films. That being said, I liked it, and I'm not a Justin Bieber fan. I'm really not, but that song, Never Say Never, total bop. I love that one. Fear Street Prom Queen, didn't mind this one, although I do fully agree with you. Weakest of the entire series. If they do another one, which I hope they do, it's an anthology book series, so I just hope the next one's better. Bring Her Back. This is the first movie, I think at least since I was a kid, where I've had to literally either look away from the screen or cover my eyes and face. It is extremely intense. Like it's a very violent movie in certain parts. It is also really great. Very great story, holding up a mirror about these kids that go with Sally Hawkins, who is this like very weird, ominous foster mother. And it's really, I can't say it's one that I'm going to rewatch over and over, just because it is so intense. But man, what an experience that was. Karate Kid Legends. This one was fine. First of all, whoever curated the soundtrack for this, count your motherfucking days, because they are responsible. Halfway through the movie, there's a training montage, and do you want to take a guess as to what song they picked, Noah?
What song did they pick? Oh, no.
Mystical Magical by Benson Boone.
Really?
I swear to God, I cannot make that up. And I said, this is very... And this was just when the song was coming out. So when I'm in the theater, I'm like, why does this sound familiar? And then all of a sudden I heard mystical, magical. And I said, oh, fuck. The song select for this movie is dog shit. The movie itself is fine. I like the movie a lot. Then I did a couple of rewatches because, like I said, I'm backed up on my new releases and my board up here. Beetlejuice is a lot of fun. Speak No Evil is really good, and I loved The Killer's Game. I finished out Noir Month with Double Indemnity. I tell you what, Fred McMurray is the main actor in that, and he has his pants hiked all the way up to his fucking neck. But it's a really good movie for a reason. And that was the month of May for me. A bunch of rewatches, bunch of sequels, and a bunch of weird things that pissed me off.
My May was a bit of an odd one as well. So after I watched Zombieland, I decided to do Hot Tub Time Machine. one of my all-time favorite comedies. I got in so much trouble as a 12-year-old for wanting to watch that, but I blame Monday Night Raw because it was all over the marketing every fucking week for 2 months. And my mom said, "You're not gonna watch that." So I snuck down to the Family Video and I rented it. And she got so mad at me. But then no. Get this shit, okay? We went down to rent some stuff. And she bought it for me for $5. Logic? I think, yeah. The Mask, all-time great Jim Carrey movie, comfort film. That was just a day where I needed fun, easy stuff. Interview with a Vampire, first time watch for me. I didn't enjoy this as much as everybody else did. I don't like how Hollywood works, where you have a young kid who is attracted to an older man, and they do stuff like that, and yada yada yada.
Did you ever see Blank Check?
No, for that very scene. I've seen that scene, which yeah. Ick. Speaking of kind of ick, Death of a Unicorn. This should have been better. The trailer looked a lot more fun. This one was too weird for its own good. However, Will Poulter kills it every time he's in anything, and he steals the entire movie. Last Breath, I didn't like this one. This was way too slow for me. I think you could have put any actors in here.
I remember Molly and I saw that together because that was a mystery movie earlier in the year. We both thought it was okay. I mean, it's nothing I'm going to ever watch again. But I remember there's like a distinct part where like the audio cuts out and it's like a huge dramatic moment of the movie. And we just heard this old woman behind us go, "Oh shit. Oh my God."
Advent. This was an indie film. This says 2023, but it went wide in 2025. And it's a 2025 film that is a little odd. I'm going to go to what it's actually about very, very quickly. It's all about a writer who's trying to write this book that is long overdue in an Irish castle, and it's supposed to be a comedy where time passes and people are interrupting him, but it's also a dark thriller in a way. It just didn't work, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I fucking fell asleep. I fell asleep. At 80 minutes, I fell asleep with this, Kyle. However, I can't say that I didn't give it a shot. There's something about Mary. Haven't seen this in many, many years, where I love the first hour of it. After we get to Matt Dillon being Matt Dillon, I don't like Matt Dillon as a human being at all. I think he's an asshole, and he can just fuck right off. I don't like him at all. But that movie just, I like it. The more the movie goes on, the sweeter it gets in the last act. And because you actually find out who she ends up with, yada, 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 yeah. But that is the month of May, and we will zoom through June very, very quickly. But we need to take a little bit of a break, and as we do that, I'm going to show you guys some of the best of the Heartful of Hallmark podcast. We will be back in about 5 minutes, Kyle, I think 5 minutes?
Yeah, 5 minutes.
All right, 5 minutes, and we will see all of you guys in just a few minutes.
Stay tuned.
My question for Rhiannon was, what was it like to work with Tyler Hines? Because I'm definitely a huge Tyler fan, and I've gotten to meet him.
You and me both. I think it was like one of the first things I talked to Alec about for no reason. Like I was just like, I am obsessed with Tyler Hines.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it? I love him. He's just so, I just love him. I've only got to work with him once, and I like it too. He is obviously adored by the fans, but I really, in my opinion, he's a great guy, and he has not let any of it really get to his head. He still shows up every day, knows all his dialogue, much like working with these two guys who are constantly trying to make it better. The script that we worked on, we did a lot of rewrites, which I love.
Oh, what you're doing to me.
I bet. Oh, I bet.
That was like, she is exactly how she sounds in interviews and her shows, and she kind of talks with her mouth and up, and she's like, I love this script. We showed her. She goes, you made me cry twice. And Max Theriot and I, we sung the Dire Straits Juliet song to her, and she cried at the craft table. You don't know what you're doing to me. And then we showed her the 5-minute sales trailer before the movie was done. It was going to Berlin. And she goes, it's just like how I read it. And
Would you rather film a royal movie or a cooking movie?
Oh, well, I think I'd rather shoot a royal movie, although I love cooking in real life and I love food, specifically good food. But and especially if you get to work with like a real chef while on set, and then you get to try out the food, that's always fun. But there's something like magical about a royal movie, and to shoot in a real castle or a ballroom and get to wear the costumes and stuff. That's whimsical and fun.
I can't wait to team up with Cindy again. She's like, there's different styles of comedy. And I might have said this previously, just with Cindy, like she genuinely just wants to make people laugh, I find. Yeah. Even more so than I mentioned, because they're all insanely talented, but she's full on comedian when she wants to cut loose. Like, full on.
You can definitely see that in her movies.
You know what I mean? Like with the Jim Carrey facial expression.
No one does it like her.
I know. She's so good at it.
I feel like her and Ashley Williams both like always show their like full out expressions on their face, and I love it.
Kevin is he's like a young Kurt Russell. I think is the best way to describe him. Incredibly charismatic, and he's a ham. Like he's just when the camera stops, he's always cracking jokes, always putting people at ease. It's just in his nature to be like that. I mean, it's funny. He knows he's good looking, and he treats it like a joke. The guy, come on, like that jaw, like that guy, like he should be in a superhero movie. Like he's. That's why I mentioned Kurt Russell, because I'm a huge Kurt Russell fan from because I grew up on all those movies, like Big Trouble in Little China and the thing.
Hey, she's rad. So Busby, that's my answer. And Busby, if you watch this, don't let this go to your head. You're not that cool.
When I met The Rock, he comes in with his big duffel bag and his protein shakes and blah, blah, blah. Hey, how are you? And I'm like, hey, man, what's up? I was like, hey, if you ever need any workout advice, let me know. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, he just walked off. I was like, hey, bad joke. And then I met Kevin, and Kevin was like, damn, you're tall as hell. I was like, yeah. And I said, look, man, don't, I'm just joking around with him. I'm like, hey, don't tell anybody how old I am. He said, this guy looks like he has a mortgage, And I was like, I probably do. And then I met Jack Black. Jack Black's the sweetest, kindest man I've ever met in my whole life. I'll never forget. He that day after the table read, he walked me and Madison Eisman to the transpo van holding an umbrella over our head because it was raining in Hawaii. And so he literally personally walked us out there and made sure we got in the vans and stuff and just continued to talk to us. Super sweet guy. Texts me from time to time now, even twice a year just to say hey, check up on me. Just really great people. Nick Jonas, one of the nicest guys. End of the day, what I found is that the people that are at the top of the top are always the kindest. on average, and they remember you. They remember every conversation. They remember every single person, and make everybody feel like an individual, that deserves their time. And so I think that's what's made them work so long too.
Probably the
And there was some of the Heartful of Hallmark. The full 22-minute special is on the Heartful of Hallmark channel. I cut out multiple pieces of every show and put the best in there. The funniest moments, the sweetest moments, and the moments that we just love the most. The ones that you saw is just some of it. Those are the nicest actors on the face of the entire planet. They make big money. They are just down-to-earth people. I love them all, and I hope that they love us. If you haven't seen it yet, subscribe to Heartful of Hallmark. We got a lot more coming, and we appreciate the support. And now we go into June. We're going to start off with Kyle's week in June.
Yes, so the theme for this month was musicals, and like I stated, because I'm so backed up on new releases, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of like call it a day with the theme months, and maybe pick up on it another time. But I wanted to watch The Apple. The Apple is widely considered to be one of the worst films of all time, and I loved every single minute of it. It is weird, and it's my kind of weird. I like weird shit like that. I thought its music was very catchy. I don't think the soundtrack's available for a digital download or anything. Otherwise, I'd be having this on repeat. But The Apple is a movie that was released in 1980, takes place in the very futuristic year of 1994.
Yep.
And it's pretty much like, don't let corporate greed get in your way. Like, follow your dreams and, the typical shit of like standard, but told in a very weird and stylized way. I was very entertained by it. So, I mean, I don't know. I really liked it. Cabaret. I love Judy Garland. Her daughter, Liza Minnelli. And her most iconic role is in Cabaret, and I'd never seen it. Liza Minnelli is so fantastic in this movie that it's a shame that the rest of it is not up to her level. Like, she's all the way up here, and the rest of the movie is just kind of coasting, hoping that she'll carry it. It was fine, but I don't think I'm ever going to see it again anytime soon. The Phoenician Scheme. This is the latest from Wes Anderson. This surprised me because I did not care for his last two films, especially Asteroid City. And I was like, maybe I'm getting real. I've just had enough. I'm getting tired of his gimmick. This, however, he found a way to make his gimmick work and make it work really well. I really enjoyed this movie. It's very funny. Benicio del Toro is excellent in it. I had a really grand time with this. Ballerina, the John Wick spinoff. I liked this. I liked it a lot. It's got a couple of rough edges here and there. And the one thing I didn't like was that I don't mind John Wick being in the actual movie to show people like, hey, this is connected to his franchise and everything. But when you start having him kind of like take the spotlight away from the main character, it's a little distracting. Other than that, this one was pretty solid. My Fair Lady, another musical, came out the year before The Sound of Music. Really, really good movie. Really long. It's 3 hours. And you have to be really into 60s musicals to really gel with it. And I thought it was fine. It's my first time ever seeing an Audrey Hepburn movie, if you could believe that. Very, very, very interesting. Then a few new releases. So I watched Straw, Tyler Perry's latest. I can't say his latest for too long because his next movie comes out in 2 weeks, which is the new Medea movie.
Yay.
This was fine. This was fine. A couple plot holes here and there, but it's a decent little thriller. I didn't waste. I don't feel like I wasted my time with it. Piglet. I am getting a little fucking tired of this fad of these no talent filmmakers taking characters that have entered into the public domain and just making stupid, shitty horror movies with them. It doesn't work. It didn't work the first time you did it. It's not going to work anymore. And I have a couple more of these that are in my watch list for Tubi. Like one of them is called Hook, about Captain Hook.
Yeah.
So, just enough. Like Molly looked at the poster and she's like, "What did they do to my boy Piglet?" I said, "Honey, first of all, it's not like a mutated pig creature. That's what they would have you think. It's a guy in a pig mask, and the guy can't talk because apparently he was injected with something in prison. Your guess is as good as mine as to why they do that or why that is. It was 83 minutes. It felt a lot longer than that. Did not care for it whatsoever. What was really good was Last Take, Rust and the Story of Helena. For those who are not as privy to the world of cinema as Noah and I are, back in October of 2021, there was a very fatal accident that happened on the set of this Western film called Rust with Alec Baldwin, where a live round wound up in a prop gun, and the gun ended up going off, and it killed the cinematographer of the film, Helena Hutchins. Rust has been completed. It was released about a month or two ago, so it is out. And the reviews that I've seen from it is that it's not a bad film. It's also not that noteworthy, but her cinematography is the one thing that they really praise about in every review I've seen. So this is all about just more so taking you through that entire event and seeing, how badly things got messed up. The actual, thank God, the actual shooting wasn't caught on camera. The most devastating part, it's about a half hour in, where Alec Baldwin is in the interview room with detectives, and he's being told that Helena has died, and he completely shuts down. And I was like, I can't even imagine the amount of guilt that he still has to this day for that incident. The only thing, I really wish the documentary would have spent a little more time on who Helena was as a person. They leave out two pretty important details. Helena worked on another movie before Rust called Time Cut on Netflix. I think they just didn't mention it because it's on a rival streaming service. The other thing is that the armorer who got sentenced to 18 months, Hannah Gutierrez Reed, the previous film that she worked on was a Western called The Old Way with Nicolas Cage. And that also was another set that had an incident in which she discharged a weapon without warning and caused Nicolas Cage to walk off set. And I'm surprised not once did they think to ever mention that in this documentary. But it's a really sad watch, but a really good watch, if that makes any sense.
And then you do have one more on that day, which is an automatic classic. I mean, everybody has to see this fucking thing. Glitter.
Yeah. So Glitter, I don't like Mariah Carey. I don't like her as a person. I think she's very stuck up. I don't much care for her music. I don't think it's all that great. And I was ready, very ready to rip into Glitter. I really was. I was like, I want to watch something that's notoriously known as one of the worst films of all time. Surprisingly, it's not nearly as bad as everybody has made it out to be. I don't think so. First of all, the movie is just, her version of A Star is Born. it's that exact same narrative. I don't think the movie's bad. I really don't. I like the acting in it. I liked the music. I liked the story. It's got some really stupid moments in it that you have to suspend disbelief. Like at one point, so she's dating this DJ, and at the beginning of the third act, they kind of split off. Like they've had too many tiffs, and they're like, we need some time apart. They end up each writing their own song, and would you believe it? They end up, by some sort of fucking coincidence, writing the exact same song called Never Too Far. And the only way that she knows that he wrote the same song is she goes into his apartment when he's not there to try and make up, and he sees a lyric sheet and sees that he wrote the exact same song that she wrote. And then she performs it later, and I think that's really interesting when, I don't know, the band, I don't know, the timing is off. The band that's behind her should not know how that song is going with how quickly everything goes, if that makes any kind of sense.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad movie. I wasn't sitting there going like, this is dog shit. I went into it going like, well, how bad could it actually be? And it's not bad at all, which really, really surprised me. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Mariah at all, but I liked it. I really did. The backstory of this movie is really fascinating. And what's really mortifying, there's a very famous photo that goes around, and it's really eerie. There was an advertisement for this film on a billboard, and right behind it is the World Trade Center on 9/11 as the planes hit. And Mariah has stated that she went through she was hospitalized. She suffered physical and mental exhaustion. She had a full-on breakdown. Before a few weeks before the movie, a few weeks before 9/11, the soundtrack was released on 9/11, as long as with some pretty famous albums like Jay-Z's The Blueprint and Nickelback's Silver Side Up. Mm-hmm. The movie came out 10 days later, and it's really eerie seeing it because the Twin Towers are in the movie a couple of times. But so that, I mean, the history of glitter is just fascinating to me to watch and to read about. But the movie's fine. I am a defender of this movie. I will say it with my chest. I don't think the movie's bad at all. I think people were ready to jump all over it because they were sick of Mariah or they didn't like Mariah. The same way that they're jumping all over Hurry Up Tomorrow because of they might not like The Weeknd. The same way they jumped all over Crossroads in 2002 because they didn't like Britney Spears. It happens every time somebody who might be the tiniest bit overexposed comes out and does a feature. And I think this is one of the ones that got caught in that crossfire. But that's enough about glitter. That is enough about it.
Well, my first watch of the month, I was over at my grandma's. And when I'm over at my grandma's, she normally says, put on The Wizard of Oz. So I put on The Wizard of Oz. It's The Wizard of Oz. What do you want me to say? And I kind of took a thing from you because you know that I'm a musical guy. I'm like, let's do a musical month as well. So I did a musical month. We're the Millers was up next. I watched that the following day. It's a great comedy. It makes me laugh my ass off every time. A great road trip movie. Yeah. This next one was a little tough. Cristo Balito, the Calypso Cult. This was all about this horse. It's a Disney film from like the 70s, and it was 54 minutes long.
What is
I-
with you? What is with you and horses this time? Like there's an alarming amount of horse shit that you're it's like literally horse stuff that you're watching.
Just wait until you see me watching a shitload of Bewitched. No. That was fine actually. It was fine. It was charming, and it's not on Disney Plus.
A lot of
Disney
things are
had-
not on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Not even Disney Plus original movies are on Disney Plus anymore.
No, like Magic Camp, but this one, Disney had their own version of like the Warner Archive thing,
Hmm.
and this is what they put on one of their discs. Then I went back and I watched The Music Man. All-time great musical, 2.5 hours, one of the greatest musicals of all time. Stage, screen, anything. The soundtrack is amazing. We will not talk about the Matthew Broderick version that Disney did because he is as entertaining as the piss I took about 2 hours ago. The Apple. The Apple is one I watched because of you. It is all your fault that I really enjoyed this massive what the fuck movie this is.
This movie also so the Apple also has some fascinating behind the scenes stories.
Yeah, it does.
So it's made by the Golan and Globus, the two guys behind Canon Pictures.
Mhm.
And Menahem Golan was so sure that this movie was going to be a success that he was honestly shocked when at the premiere of the movie, halfway through, people were reacting so negatively. They were booing at it, and they had like souvenir vinyl soundtracks and they were throwing them at the screen. He was so despondent that he went back to his hotel and thought about jumping off of his hotel balcony, and his business partner came in and stopped him. Another fascinating thing, so a bit of a spoiler for a movie that's 45 years old. The movie ends with a very weird ending with a godlike character named Mr. Tops, who comes down and basically initiates the rapture. And it's very weird watching that. But then if you read up about the movie, it makes sense because they had this opening number planned out, ready to go, to set up that character and explain that he was sending two people down, Adam and Eve, to kind of explore the music industry and everything. But that set went so badly because they had live animals, they had people in a brontosaurus costume that passed out from the heat. That shoot went so badly that they just said, fuck it, we're not putting this in anything. So that's why when the movie ends, people are like, what is this about? So
Yeah.
There on the Blu-ray that I have, there's a really good interview with the lead actress, Catherine Mary Stewart. Really interesting. You hear a lot of really cool stuff from her, but I introduced you to the Apple. Did you like taking a bite?
I loved how juicy it was. So you want to be a salesman? This was all about Joe McDotes, who is trying to sell a vacuum. That tells you how old this fucking thing is. A door-to-door vacuum salesman. I watch a lot of weird shit.
So do I.
Grease. I watch this on my day off, and when I tell you, my mom sang every God blessed word. She sang every God blessed word. Beauty school dropout. And this movie gives me PTSD in the worst way. In high school, I had to perform 2 songs from Grease. You're the one that I want, and Grease Lightning. Live on stage. Multiple times. Do you know how many times I heard those songs, Kyle?
Probably in the hundreds.
I guarantee you 200-300 times. I performed these songs live in front of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow.
Live in front of a big crowd who thought that we were actually being paid by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to perform outside. We were apparently that good. Here's the problem. Did you see Grease live?
So here's a confession. I've never seen Grease.
Oh, that hurts my ass. I'm sorry. I fucking love Grease, but that's shocking.
That's a big cinematic blind spot for me. I've never seen it.
Oh, it's a masterpiece. But Grease was.
Even my girlfriend is upset with me.
So I guess that's a date night, Molly.
That has to be. I will gladly sit down and watch it with her. I've never seen Grease. I've never seen Grease 2, obviously. I do know. Do you know the weird background thing about Grease 2?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
So there's a scene early on where they're like walking at a track, and right behind them, people are like jumping over the hurdles and everything. And the dude who's jumping over the hurdle is wearing shorts that are so short that his nutsack pops out.
Yep. And I will get to that movie very, very, very soon, because I watched it for the very first time, and I watched it and I'm like, this is PG, right? Why is his sack out?
It's nutty, isn't it?
Side note, this is not the only time on this list that we will be talking about Grease. Predator, Killer of Killers. I did not like this.
I'm saving that to watch because Predator Badlands comes out in November, and I want to do like a whole Predator series run through. That sounds really bad. I want to do a Predator run through before before the new one.
Oh my God, we're gonna move on from that one. Since I moved a little too far, I didn't like this movie as much as everybody else did. I thought it was fine. The animation was beautiful. I'm not going to go deep into it. This movie does have one portion where there's no dialogue, and it's very action heavy, but there's very little character development in the entire series of segments in the movie. That's all I'm going to say. I didn't enjoy this as much as everybody else did. It's not bad. It's just not my cup of tea. To Barcelona with Love is a Hallmark movie, the first in a duology. I forgot for a minute. A duology. This was fine. It's more about this friendship with Allie and Ashley, two sweet actresses. I have a contact for Allison, and I have a contact for Ashley. Hopefully soon on the podcast, girls. Please. A sweet movie. The next one up was a little weird. Carnal Knowledge. This is a 1971 sex comedy starring Jack Nicholson. All about these two friends who basically want to fuck anything that moves. And along the way, they both fall in love, and certain things happen here that I will not get into, but let's just say you have seen it all before. There are moments here and there where it's a little too weird. I'm gonna leave it at that. But Jack Nicholson, even in '71, was freaking phenomenal. Hurry Up Tomorrow. Yeah, I didn't like this one, and a lot of people thought it's because I don't like The Weeknd. I love his music. I love The Weeknd. It's just I thought this movie was a bit of a crapshoot. Jenna Ortega was great. Barry Keoghan was all over the marketing. All over all the marketing. He's in 4 scenes.
Yeah, he's barely in it.
Scenes. And The Weeknd, I don't know what he's doing about 75% of this movie, but when he's trying, he's really trying to act. But there's moments where he's with Jenna and with Barry, where they are outshining him, and side characters who are outshining him by miles. And it gets too full of itself the further it goes. But I see your point as well. I see why you loved it. This movie just didn't click for me.
And that's fair.
I can't say that it's poorly shot.
No.
I can say some of the lighting choices were interesting choices. There are scenes that are a little bit.
What the fuck are you doing? I'm on a tour. I have to go like right now.
Yeah. that was very interesting. Oof. And then the 10th was Singing in the Rain.
That I have seen. That is one of the all-time greatest films ever made.
It's a happy place for me. It's songs that I didn't get to perform back in my show choir days where I want to. I would love to get to do any of these songs because they are some of the most well-known songs from any musical ever. And even to this day, so many homages in new films, in TV shows, they're homages to this. Let's go to the comments real quick. How have you not seen Grease?
God, everybody's coming for me. I'm sorry. I will get to it this year. I promise.
We are going to be on your ass until you see it. No. Hey, it took me 26 years to see 8 Mile. So who am I? See? But there are certain films where you haven't seen them.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's plenty of films in the month of July, which I will show you all my July list of what I'm going to watch that everyone's going to go, how the fuck have you not seen that? Let's move quickly through June. There we go.
Oh yeah, a lot of newer ones. Meat. Finally, it is technically out. And what I mean by technically is that the version that Roger showed at the Capitol Theater is 95% finished. There are some lines that he still has to dub in here and there. There are some editing tweaks that he has to make. And he says like the end credits are going to be like animated. When we saw it, it was more of like a traditional end scroll. This is, I have been in the indie film scene for about 6 years now. This is without a doubt the best indie film to come out of Cleveland, bar none. The one that can come closest to it is Evenfall by Dustin Lee. Meat is an LGBTQIA plus slasher film. It's 131 minutes. It never once feels that long. I swear to you, the pacing for this movie is off the charts great. The acting from everyone involved is phenomenal. The violence and the special effects are terrific. The writing is great. The humor is wonderful. This is everything I hoped it would be, and then some. It is one of the absolute best films of 2025. I was very proud of the reaction that Roger got when the film concluded. The line to get into the theater, I'm not kidding you, was around the block. Like it was like they hadn't opened the doors yet because they were still setting the theater up. And it was literally curtailing around the block. It was an experience that Molly and I will not ever forget, because she saw this with me as well, and she enjoyed it. It's fantastic. It is really fantastic, and I wish Roger and the entire crew and cast of this the best success possible, because he is going to start submitting this to film festivals and getting the word out more about this. Godspeed, because it deserves every accolade that I can give it. I absolutely adored this thing.
I reached out, and I didn't know that it wasn't quite done yet, but I asked him if I could have a screener for it when it is finished, and he told me to reach out at the beginning of August.
Okay.
To ask for it. So because I've been following this since it was an idea, and I haven't met any of these people in real life, but I support anybody that I can, because making films is hard. And Roger, I kid you not, I've talked to him a couple of times. One of the sweetest guys on the entire planet, down to earth.
Literally, yes.
Super
Roger
sweet.
Connors is one of the biggest sweethearts I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. Like, if you ever have the chance to spend 5 minutes with Roger, just speaking with him, please don't take that for granted. Like, he is a wonderful human being.
Which we will, because we're gonna have him on here one day. He already said that he's down for it. So
awesome.
He's down. I believe I asked him, and he said that he was down. But once I see the film in August, that might be the best time for it, before it gets out there, and give it a bit more
publicity.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Speaking of films that I loved, The Life of Chuck. This movie is incredible. It made me tear up. And there is an affirmation in that movie that I have started acquiring into my daily routine, which is I am wonderful, I deserve to be wonderful, and I contain multitudes. It is one of the best films about how people live their lives, and to and just basically how they take how they see each individual moment as it happens to them. It was really good. And then, like, immediately after, I saw the How to Train Your Dragon live action remake, and it was fine. There's a very big problem I have. The problem with this is that it is the exact same film. What is the point of remaking it if you're just going to do the same thing? At least with Lilo and Stitch, they made changes. With Snow White, they made changes. This they really didn't. It's a good movie. I love Gerard Butler. I really do. So I'm happy that he reprised his voice role in like a live action setting. But when the movie was over with, I like very quickly forgot about it. I was like, all right, I watched it. I'm gonna go home. Like, that's it.
Glowing review there, Kyle.
Yeah, man. Screamboat. Mediocre, but it could have been worse. That's my very short review on that one. Materialists. So Molly and I went and saw this. So we celebrated our second anniversary a little bit late, and the reason we did so is because she was under the weather around the time when we had our anniversary. So we went and saw this, and then we went and had hibachi, and I'm not kidding you. That meal was so delicious and wonderful. I had a fantastic time that night. Materialists, I liked. She thought it was okay. She wasn't as into it as I was, but we both agree. The one problem with the movie is that the trailer made it seem more like a comedy, and the movie is more of a drama than it is anything else. That being said, it's a good movie. I can't see me revisiting it several times in the future. I'm very happy that Dakota Johnson is showing effort in a film after the 1-2 punch of Madam Web and Daddy-O last year. But, you know, hey, they can't all be winners. But I loved Chris Evans in this one. I loved him in that one. I did watch 2 Disney musicals in a row. One I really wanted to watch was Newsies because it has Christian Bale in it. It was directed by Kenny Ortega, who went on to do the High School Musical movies and the Descendants movies. Really good movie, all about the newspaper strike of 1899, and I didn't think that would work as a musical, and it really did. It's very intriguing. Yeah, I liked it a lot. So then I had a couple new releases I watched. Cold Wallet. This was fine. It's one of those like new crypto thriller movies where if you're not up on like the latest technology jargon, you're gonna be fucking lost. But what a cold wallet is, it's basically like a digital wallet that holds all of your cryptocurrencies. And these guys invest in a coin that ends up going belly up, and they're like, oh my God. And it goes belly up because it's reported that the CEO died. Well, then they find out really quickly that the CEO is not dead. He faked his death, and he's hiding out at his mansion in some area. So they go there, and they end up holding him hostage. And I would say it's stronger in the first hour than it is in the last half hour, but it's not bad at all. Like it's good for a one-time watch. Borderline was massively disappointing, considering that this has Samara Weaving and Ray Nicholson. This was a movie that did not know whether it wanted to be a horror film or a comedy film or something in between. Its tone is extremely off. Ray Nicholson plays this completely weird, mentally unwell person who actually needs serious mental health treatment, who thinks that he is in love with Samara Weaving's character, who is like a pop star / actress. He ends up breaking into her house, and the whole thing feels like a really weird sitcom. I didn't like it. I loved Eric Dane in it. Eric Dane, he was the villain in Bad Boys 4. And he, which I know people are like, he was in Grey's Anatomy and Euphoria. Whatever. First of all, I don't watch Grey's. I have time for that. But he's the only one in this movie that can read the room. So I was disappointed with Borderline. The Empire is one of the most pointless movies I've ever seen. It's also one of the worst foreign films I've ever seen. This is a French film that is a spoof, I guess, of Star Wars, but only because they occasionally have like laser knives or swords that they decapitate people with. The plot takes up about 10% of the movie. There's 2 warring factions. They come to Earth to try and get a hold of a baby because they think the baby is the devil incarnate, and whoever gets the baby first, it's either a good thing or a bad thing. Horrible movie, desperately unfunny, really boring, one of 2025's worst. So then I watched Song of the South. I have a bootleg DVD of this. It is a musical film, and it is controversial because it is really racist. It is very uncomfortable to watch. But at the same time, I don't understand why this movie is not available legally. Excuse me. I'm going to take a sip of water. Like my love says, I got to stay hydrated.
Yeah.
And you really do. You got to stay hydrated. The heat that has been happening up here is god awful.
Holy shit. You're not kidding. It is awful up here, man. But it's cooled down for tonight.
Yes. Song of the South, I don't know why it's not available on like an actual DVD release, because there have been Looney Tunes shorts that have been deemed very culturally insensitive or racist, and those are available on DVD with a warning that says, hey, this was made at a time when this was acceptable. We understand that it's not, but we're not going to hide it. So we just want to fucking let you know. This is a movie about two little white kids, two very annoying little white kids, who go to stay at their aunt or grandmother's, I can't remember the relation, plantation. And there they are greeted by a very big stereotype, Uncle Remus, who is this very magical African-American who tells them stories of Brer Rabbit and Brer Bear and Brer Fox. And it's a really interestingly stereotypical film, because every time a black person speaks in it, it is with a very heavily stereotypical country accent. And it is very jarring to watch, especially coming from a corporation like Disney. But then again, they didn't take out the Native American references in Peter Pan.
Nope.
They didn't take out the
crows in Dumbo.
Yeah, they didn't take out that in Dumbo. They didn't take out anything in. I haven't seen it, but I know there's something with Pocahontas.
Yeah.
The movie itself is interesting to watch. I think it's a necessary watch for a lot of people. It's not like I'm not sitting there the whole time going like, oh my, like clutch the pearls. This is like, I can't believe this. I knew going into it like it was a product of its era, but it still is a little shocking. I would say if you are a lover of Disney and you haven't seen it, it's not the best, because in general, it's just not that interesting of a movie. But James Baskett, who plays Uncle Remus, is awesome in this. He is so wonderful. The animated segments are really good. And the songs are also good. I'm very glad I saw it. I'm glad I have it. It's a movie. And if you haven't seen it, I think it's on YouTube. I don't know. Now that he's away, I can take over and say whatever I want. Oh no, shit, he's back.
I'm watching.
The 28 days, weeks, and years later, I liked all three of them. I really don't have much to say on that, on those movies. Yes, I do get the joke that 28 years later should have been called 28 inches later. There's a lot of dong in that movie. Like there's Roger at the beginning of like before Meat premiered, he was like, there's going to be like a lot of nudity in the movie. And you know, whatever, that was fine. There was a lot of male nudity in 28 years later. Like the alpha zombie comes on and Jesus, he's called the alpha for a reason. I mean, it's like this big. And they have to pan out and show a full body shot. Like, look at how big the dick is, dude. Like, like it just, I was in the theater and just like occasionally every few minutes I was like, well, there it is. Bride Hard. This is the worst film of the year so far. It desperately unfunny. This is a movie that if Steven Dorff was not in it, and I love Steven Dorff, if Steven Dorff was not in this movie, I would have probably pulled my first ever walkout. It is that bad. Rebel Wilson plays a spy. She cannot tell her friends that she is a spy for the CIA. She is, after a very poorly staged action sequence, she's assigned to go with her best friend, who's played by Anna Camp, to her wedding. And she's just told to relax, just have fun. You know, you're taking work too seriously, and it's taking away from your personal life. The other friends that are there are like 3 other friends that have screen time with Camp and Wilson. They don't seem to like Rebel Wilson, and Camp merely seems like she tolerates her. And it's, the wedding goes, and the movie can't even get like the wedding interruption right. Like before the wedding even starts, like the priest says, "We're gathered here today," and then all of a sudden a bunch of people with Uzis and shit start firing into the air. Like any proper filmmaker would have been like, okay, let's wait until they say, does anyone have anything to object to or whatnot? Like that would have been the perfect time to end. But no, we're gathered here today. Boom, 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 boom. There is not a gag in this movie that actually, there's one pity laugh I gave. It was something that Steven Dorff said, but it's not worth repeating because I would have to spend 5 minutes setting up the fucking scene in question and where it happens. Wretchedly awful. Molly's got Regal Unlimited like I do. Mm-hmm. She saw the still image of this when it was coming out, because it'll show like what movies are playing and everything, and instead of the poster it'll show you like a still image. She saw that and she goes, that looks horrible. And she saw that I hated it and she goes, wow, shocker. Really bad, really awful. Definitely I gave it half a star because, like I said, I love Steven Dorff and he's the only one that seems to be trying. But it is the worst movie of the year so far. It's god awful.
I'm gonna zoom through the next two weeks. I watched Killers. Great action comedy to me. It worked for me. It's stupid, fun. Sinners. I finally saw Sinners. The best movie of the year. It is gory, bloody, funny. It's a musical at some moments. The cinematography is great. If this is not up for Oscars, this is my favorite movie of the entire year, and this is going to be a hard one to top. I can't wait for the Blu-ray to come out, and guess what? It comes out on Max on July 4th. So that's going to be a new July 4th tradition. Watch Sinners like I will, because I will be watching it. I'll be watching it. I bought the digital for $25 because I couldn't take it anymore. Clown in the Cornfield. This was fine. If I read the book, I might like it more. The effects were good. I liked some of the story, but then again, it's the characters. If you don't write intriguing characters, this means this was fine. I rewatched this. This was better than I thought it would be. It'd get a higher grade if the climax wasn't ultimately fucking stupid. If anybody hasn't seen this movie, these two guys in Chris Pine and Tom Hardy are dating the same woman in Reese Witherspoon. The climax of the movie happens and she's dating both of them. They both know that they're dating her. They're trying to win her over by having sex with her, by taking her on all these dates. and trying to screw up all their dates with the other person. And the climax happens at this restaurant where they've had enough. They're finally going to just tell her, and she is going to basically say who she picks. After she finds out that they know each other, she's somehow upset that they didn't tell her that they knew that they were dating the same person, even though she was doing the same thing, just cheating on both of them with the other person. That makes a whole lot of fucking sense, doesn't it? Basketball. This was fun. This was fun. And if this game actually existed in real life, I'd play it. Up in the Air. This was great. Anna Kendrick gives the best performance in the entire movie. Outshining George Clooney is not easy, but Anna Kendrick does it. This is funny. It's also weirdly touching in a way. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's a great film. Miracle on 34th Street, the 94 version. I was on the phone with my co-host, and we always talk about Christmas and Christmas films. And we were coming up with a question, and her mom heard that she said she'd never seen that movie. And I went, wait a minute, have I seen that movie? I saw the original. I never saw the 94 version. So on the same day, we watched it. I loved it. I loved this version. It's sweet. It's funny. It knows exactly what it is. And when he does sign language to the little deaf girl, it's sweet. Grease 2. Holy shit. This was fun. This was fun. This is not good. But it's fun. And Frenchie, in the original, she's in here. She is a beauty school dropout, but she goes back to high school to graduate. Guess what? The graduation happened. She's not in the fucking picture. She's in 10 minutes of the movie. She's supposed to be watching over Sandy's nephew from Australia. It's just, it's a musical. The songs aren't bad. It's not no Grease 1. Fight or Flight. This is Bullet Train on a plane. Bullet Train on a plane. I had fun with it. It's nothing I'll rewatch 17 times, but for a nice throw on, it's easy. To Barcelona Forever, the sequel to Barcelona with Love. We got to interview the lead star, the male love interest, Miguel. Super sweet guy. Told us some great stories. A better romance movie. This one is all about Ashley Williams meets him, and they have to fake this this engagement because they're hiding the fact that we've heard this all before. A fake engagement so the family won't find out that you're lying.
Mm-hmm.
Notting Hill. I got in trouble during the interview for saying that I never saw this movie because Miguel loves this movie, and I watched it like the day before we did that interview. Sweet dude, love him. And I like that movie a lot. It is really good. I got in the mood to watch Django Unchained. Fucking masterpiece of a movie. My favorite Quentin Tarantino movie of all time. I'll just zoom past these last three, and then we'll do our last two weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Minecraft movie came to Max. I was scared to go to theaters to go and see this for good reason. This was fun. It's a fun movie. Does that mean it's good? No, I don't know what movie Jason Momoa thinks he's in, but Jason Momoa is not in this movie. This is a different actor. If you watch him in literally anything else, he is overacting, and he's not acting at all at the same time.
Here's the issue, though. It's not just him in the movie. It's everybody. They're all acting as if they're in a completely separate movie from each other.
Jack Black especially. Jack Black is Jack Black in the movie. He's not Steve. He's Jack Black. I was over at my grandma's again this past weekend, and I was on the Watch TCM app, and I saw a movie that had Lucille Ball, Ginger Rogers, and Red Skelton in it, called Having a Wonderful Time. This was a short hour and 10-minute comedy from 1938, all about these people at a camp, and you're basically seeing this relationship blossom between Ginger Roger and her love interest, and she is she goes back to his cabin, and everyone thinks that they're gonna just fuck, and they seriously just go back and play backgammon. They play backgammon for hours and hours and hours, and there's a party at her place, so that's why she goes to his place. It's very odd, but I had a good time with it. I mean, it's an hour and 10 minutes. It's low budget. It's a B movie from the 30s, but anything with Lucy in it is a must. And Lucille Ball, it was a Lucille Ball day. The long trailer. Her and Desi Arnaz star as Nikki and Tacy, who are newlyweds, and she really wants a trailer to travel the country to go up this big mountain in the Colorado area, and they buy this trailer. And it's the comedic adventures that go along with that. One of my all-time favorite comedies. It is so awesome. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Thanks for stopping in, Sav. And I know it's late over there. It's very, very late. We are going to zoom past the last week.
Yes, we are.
And then I will show you guys my July watch list, and we will be out of here quicker than somebody is in a whore in Vegas. There we go.
Frozen, the hit Broadway musical, doesn't do anything different from its source material except add songs and make the original story really boring. I did not have a good time with this at all. Elio, I am urging everyone watching, if you have not seen this movie, please go out and see it. It is wonderful. It is extremely charming, beautifully animated, hilarious, and just it has that Pixar feel to the extreme. We saw it last weekend. We loved it. It is amazing. Alien Romulus, I rewatched. Pretty solid movie. F1, it's just called F1. I'm not calling it F1 the movie. F1 is in my top 3 of the year. It would be Meat, F1, and Sinners. F1 is awesome. It is so awesome. And I really hope that you do get a chance to see it soon. Rewatched Megan. That would be my 4th time watching it. I love that movie so much for Megan 2.0. Megan 2.0 is a very different movie. It is now not a horror film. It is a sci-fi action film. And Megan, if she was Arnold in The Terminator, she is now Arnold in Terminator 2, where she is trying to protect everybody she was going after in the original film. Very interesting movie. I enjoyed it. I can't say I'm going to watch it as many times as the first one. And rewatched Jurassic Park. It's one of the greatest films of all time. No notes. I'm still extremely amazed with how wonderful those effects look 32 years after that movie came out.
And before we end that segment, what is the theme for July, if I can ask?
So I'm backed up on new releases, so I can't do any more theme months. It was going to be action.
Yep.
I can't. I have so much that I have to catch up on, and I actually have a pile out from the library that I got to start whipping through.
Yeah. Well, I have a bit of a interesting month. You will see that, but we have Christmas in July. So I have some Hallmark films to catch up on. So I have Christmas in July. This is my last week. We went over to my grandma's again, and she said put on Grease. So I watched fucking Grease 2 times in 2.5 weeks.
I've seen it.
I had to go through
times.
the PTSD.
I've seen it 0 times in 27 years.
And we will have to change that. Well, Molly will have to change that. RV, I rewatched this. This was a fun road trip comedy. I think it's underrated. Is it immature humor? Yeah, but anything that Jeff Daniels is in a comedic role, I automatically love. And Robin Williams, he's always charming. I don't know what they were doing with that one scene where they have to clean out the sewage system. That was a little odd, but
all that poop, just all that poop.
Yeah. This one sounds weirder than it actually is. So you want to hold your wife? This one is actually him trying to talk to this radio guy who is trying to talk him into staying with his wife. Yeah. He's basically saying, my wife did this, I don't know why. And then you see what actually happened. So it's basically what actually happened and then the man's version. Very old-timey from the 1940s style humor. I rewatched Les Miserables. Damn near masterpiece. I should not have seen that in theaters for the first time. I was 13 at the time, and I think that my theater owner looked at me when I walked in that theater and what in the fuck are you doing watching Les Miserables at 13 years old all by yourself in theaters? I loved it. I loved it.
Anything that Anne Hathaway is in is automatically worth watching.
Yeah.
Just
one day, especially if anybody hasn't seen One Day, that's a crying movie.
That her and Michelle Pfeiffer are my favorite Catwomen.
Yeah.
Nothing against Zoe Kravitz.
No.
Everything against Halle Berry because Catwoman is a pretty bad movie. But I thought Anne Hathaway was awesome in The Dark Knight Rises. I also respect Michelle Pfeiffer immensely for Batman Returns.
Bloodlines. I enjoyed this one a lot. Tony Todd's scene is very heart-wrenching now.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite kill in the entire series now is let's go into small spoilers. Eric's death scene, being sucked into that machine. That was fun. Friendship. See, I didn't watch the guy's show on Netflix, so I had never seen any of this guy's stuff. So that might be why I didn't enjoy it. I didn't think they had great chemistry. But
the whole movie is supposed to be that you're not really supposed to be rooting for Tim Robinson's character.
Yeah.
Like he every character that he plays on his show is supposed to be the weirdest human being on the planet. So
and he was here.
I would recommend sitting down and watching some episodes of that show, especially because it's just so damn funny.
Okay.
But I respect that for friendship.
Now, I also have the right to turn around on it once I see his stuff, more of the stuff. If his humor does click with me in the show, then this movie is automatically going to be rewatched and right back up. And then to end it off, I did 2 more shorts on the Turner Classic Movies here. Opening day is a opening day in a baseball game in 1938. Very sweet. The Canadian Lancers, all about this little girl at this horse riding camp. This was fun. I watched this morning. Trainwreck: The Poop Cruise.
That's on
You-
my list.
You know what this is. Just fucking wait. I had a blast with this. Imagine having to shit in a red bag. There's a lot of stuff in here that's nasty and gross, but it's fucking funny. And so you want to be a gambler? I watched this right before we did this so that I didn't end on the poop cruise. So you want to be a gambler? Joe McDoakes, he wants to gamble. He gets a nickel and he wins $50 at a pinball game. And ultimately, he winds up at a casino, plays roulette, and he wins $12,000. $12,000, and he throws it away because a bird won't tell him the right number anymore. So he won $12,000 because a parrot said 26, 32, 00. And the 00 turned into a 10, and he lost $12,000. And that was the show. But before we go, I do have to show you guys the watch list for July. Because there's some big ones on here that I have not seen. So we will go up here very, very slowly. Here we go. And then we won the show. So I have never seen Her all the way through. I've seen the first hour. I fell asleep during it because I watched it late at night. 12 Years a Slave is a movie I've been wanting to see for a very, very long time, along with Captain Phillips. Lady in the Water. I am doing a marathon of M. Night. I have not seen Signs. I have not seen. Are they on this list? I don't know if they're on this list. Okay, Signs, Lady in the Water, The Sixth Sense, and The Village. So I'm doing all four of those in a row. I have also not seen The Counselor, Gangster Squad, Moonlight, The Lovers, Man About Town, Supercell, Scarface, Your Lucky Day, Knox Goes Away, The Married Gentleman, Catch Me If You Can, Tropic Thunder, Castaway, and Dunkirk. So there is what my watch list will be for that month of stuff I've never seen, along with a shit load of Christmas. And I mean a shitload of Christmas. Probably about 15 to 20, 30 Christmas movies in the month of July.
Have you ever seen Santa with Muscles with Hulk Hogan?
Yes, I have. It's great. It's great. But one thing that we have to do, if we have time, would you want to come on before our next show and do a best of the year so far show? Like halfway through. Or would you like to wait until the end of the year? Because I'm fine either way.
Let's wait until the end of the year for that, only because I want to have more material for the worst list. Because what I have right now, I mean, there's stuff there, but not enough, if that makes any sense.
But we will be back. We'll talk about this off stream when we want to come back on and do it. But well, we might have to do that a little bit later. But as always, like and subscribe for more. We will be back here probably in August for the What We Watched in July episode. And Kyle, where can we find you on YouTube?
You can find me at Concrete Angel. That is KONKRETE Angel, ANGEL. For those of you that have that watch Noah that have come over and subscribed to me, I thank you very kindly. That is where you can find me on YouTube. The premiere video for Meat is up. I did post a couple of collection videos recently, so if you're into like niche collections, go check those out. But yeah, that's where you guys can find me.
And as for me, you guys know I'm right here on this channel and on Heartful of Hallmark. Check it out. We have a brand new interview coming very, very soon with Amy Browning. And we have another interview coming up very, very soon. I don't know when we're uploading it, but I know we're filming it on Monday for the movie actually premiering tonight. And if you guys are not watching it, please support the lovely people who made that movie. We got to talk to the lead actress, and the director of the film a couple weeks ago, and Alex Santos, Colin Mays, and Rhiannon Fish. 3 lovely people, and we get to talk to the 2 co-stars together, Michelle and Chris, this Monday. So we will have everybody from that film in it on the podcast, which we're very proud of. And as always, everybody, like and subscribe for more, and we'll see all of you guys next time.
Thank you, guys.